You know, you're such a pretty girl, I would almost leave you there. But not quite. Hi guys, it's Leanne and I am here with my Spooktober TBR. Also with a slightly different background and a new angle because I have invested in a tripod. I feel like I've officially landed on BookTube. What is Spooktober, I hear you ask? And I say it is the self-explanatory month in which Leanne decides that she's going to read horror all month and nothing else. Well, I may regret this decision. I have enough small lights that I could probably sleep with the light on and not keep Helen awake. Or I could just sleep downstairs. No, too many windows downstairs. Points of entrance are also a consideration. Why am I doing this to myself? Also, I kinda stole the name from Claire over at the Book Fox, who is doing Shocktober this month, which is watching a lot of recommended horror films from her viewers, which she will then be reviewing. Claire is not quite as susceptible as I am when it comes to giving myself the creeps. I'm not necessarily going to get to all of them, but this is what I am planning to read, so you can all cross fingers for me, because we know that when I have a goal and a checklist that I am more motivated than when I just say, hey, that's a cool book. So the first book that I have for my Spooktober TBR is this one. This is actually a reread. It is The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, and it actually looks way better in the dodgy lighting than any of the others are going to. I love this book and it is actually my audiobook for the month. It clocks in at 20.5 hours. It's a cast audio, so there's lots of different actors doing all of the different parts. And so far I am absolutely loving it. The Woman in White is the tale of Walter Hartwright, drawing master, as he goes to a very remote estate in the country to teach to very privileged young women how to draw. On his way to Limmeridge House, he bumps into a mysterious woman dressed all in white who appears to be fleeing from someone in the aristocracy. Walter helps her to get a cab and sends her on her way and doesn't think any more about it until somehow he realises that that woman is connected to the women at Limmeridge House and that his meeting with her was perhaps not entirely by accident. The next book that I have to read for Spooktober is actually another Wilkie Collins, and it is The Haunted Hotel. I am really excited for this one because I knew absolutely nothing about it before it appeared on one of the tables at my workplace. This is actually a collection of short mysteries which all take place in one haunted hotel, and the entire idea is to find out how they are connected. An eminent doctor is visited by a desperate woman with a question: am I evil or insane? When an Italian servant stops sending letters to his wife in London, she is convinced he has been murdered. In the darkened bedroom of a mouldering palazzo by the Grand Canal, an English lord sickens and suddenly dies. How are these little mysteries connected? Spend the night in room 14 of Venice's finest hotel and find out the truth, if you dare. The next book that I have for Spooktober is Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane. I actually committed a cardinal sin for me and I watched the movie before reading this book because I didn't actually know there was a book. Either way, this is about US Marshal Teddy Daniels, who goes to Shutter Island and a hospital for the criminally insane to track down escape murderess Rachel something or other. When he gets there, a hurricane bears down on the island and he cannot leave. And he has to stay on Ward C and investigate exactly what has happened and how Rachel has escaped. Few locked rooms, cryptic codes, weird visions in the night, and the reality of a barefoot woman escaping a locked cell unnoticed in the dead of the night. Why do I do this to myself? The fourth book that I have for Spooktober is Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I'm not going to say too much about this one because I'm sure that a lot of you have heard about this. It's very much done the rounds on BookTube. Essentially, I believe this follows a family who have to leave their house and move somewhere else completely blindfolded because anybody in this village who has looked outside of their window with their naked eyes has gone absolutely insane. From what I understand, they don't know whether this is specific to their village or whether the internet dying has something to do with it, and I am looking forward to this one, even though I know that it's gonna creep me out of my skin. Also, the cover for this one is way creepier if you turn it to the light and you see all of the scratches that have been printed on it. I don't know if any of you guys have noticed from my wrap-ups, but I'm trying to throw 1 or 2 short story collections in every month to my reading, so I had to give Spooktober a short story collection, and I picked The Birds and Other Stories by Daphne du Maurier. So in addition to The Birds, which obviously inspired the very famous Hitchcock film of the same name, this collection also includes many other horrible, nasty little stories, including photographers who see very strange things when they take pictures, a woman who is haunted by her husband in the form of an apple tree in her back garden, a man who tries to dominate nature, and the one which gives me the willies more than anything else is a date with a cinema usherette leads to a walk in the cemetery, which I'm assuming she's not going to forget. For the record, I actually love cemeteries, but I kind of do avoid them at Halloween, not because I'm scared of ghosts and monsters, but because I'm scared of people. The next book that I am picking up for Spooktober is All Clear at the Book Fox's Fault. I've picked up the classic Misery by Stephen King. This is the story of a famous writer who has killed off his main character, Misery, and is carrying about his one copy of the manuscript which exists. So this novel begins with him in a car wreck, and he wakes up to discover that the person who's saving him from the wreck cares a little bit too much about somebody in the car, and here's a hint, it's Misery, it's not the author. Next up, I have 2 Shirley Jackson novels from my collection. They are the only 2 Shirley Jacksons that I still own and that I haven't read, although I don't own them all, and I'm quite excited. I don't think I'm gonna get to both of these, so I have The Bird's Nest and I have The Road Through the Wall. The Bird's Nest is essentially about a woman who develops a kind of schizophrenia, and then she starts manifesting multiple personalities, and not all of them are entirely sane. So that's my first option, but my second option, and the one that I think I'm going to get to, is The Road Through the Wall, which is about little Carolyn Desmond, who lives in Pepper Street, surrounded by people who are only interested in keeping up with the Joneses. They are bigoted, they are racist, they are pretty malicious, and they'll do anything to be the best of the best. Carolyn is considered to be the one and only good person left on Pepper Street, and then something happens to her and everybody else has to face the consequences. So yeah, that's it for my Spooktober TBR. I really hope that you're looking forward to me being completely freaked out and inarticulate for the entire month. This is when you realise you can't pick up all the books and you feel like a failure because the thumbnail's the thing. Bye guys! Oh. Shh, no. It would be fine if you would just lie there and sleep.